If you're familiar at all with Telltale Games, you've probably already heard of or played some of their bigger titles. The Walking Dead and The Wolf Among Us have both broken new ground in the adventure genre with immersive storytelling, deeply complex characters, impressive and artistic visuals, and of course those infamous scenes that made us all squeal like stuck piglets and grip our respective controllers in a mortified vice grip. Telltale has always had a way with getting its players to really feel the knife in their arm twist, getting us to really hurt alongside the protagonist. I know you felt it when Lee or Clementine or Bigby had to do that one thing. You know the one. Yeah, you do. And if you don't, well...
Try to stay still!
I wish there was...
So, in the wake of The Walking Dead Season 2 and the major cliffhanger ending of The Wolf Among Us, Telltale fans were waiting with bated breath to see what would come next. Really, I should have expected it. I mean, this is what Telltale does best. I'd never watched or read the series that influenced their games, and I completely invested in them. Really, what better franchise to go with next than the one that consistently rips out your still-beating heart and stamps on it with every episode? Of course! Game of fucking Thrones! Finally, a series I actually know some shit about before starting. And why shouldn't I be grateful? Telltale has so generously made yet another medium for which I can sacrifice all of my blood and tears for the series. Oh yes! It's like Telltale saw this opportunity and thought, hey, you know what would make the players really hurt? If all that shit that went wrong was their fault. Yeah, what if you caused the downfall of your favorite house? What if you were the reason that nobody could save your favorite characters? Yeah, plural, characters, because you can't sit there and tell me that you had just one. I won't hear it. So the game starts out, fittingly, in Westeros, right outside the twins on the eve of the Red Wedding. Okay, so if you skipped to this part in the video and you haven't finished Game of Thrones Season 3 yet, I would go do that right now, because the first scene of this game is the last scene of that season. You start off as a squire named Gared who serves the house Forrester. It's not a great deal, but apparently he used to be a pig farmer, so this is kind of a step up. Let me tell you, your buddy over here will not let you forget about that little detail.
Ah, pig farmers.
Right off the bat, it's clear that this installment by our favorite sadistic game company has put a real emphasis on matching the original content. Not overly gritty, it's drifted slightly from the cartoonish and campy designs of its predecessor, The Walking Dead, which it most closely resembles in game style. The Wolf Among Us got away with its bold graphic style because, hey, it's based on a graphic novel, and while the same is true of TWAU, I always felt like it was a bit too stylized to really fit the gritty subject matter. Game of Thrones, however, has adapted its visuals to be a bit more refined while still keeping the company's signature aesthetic present. So your Lord Gregor tells you that due to your years of good service, he's decided to promote you after the wedding. Of course, again, that basically means something terrible is going to happen in between then and now. It's gonna cock up the whole plan altogether, yeah? Oh, yeah, I recognize that face. This guy definitely watches the series. Another thing you might notice here is the playstyle is way more reminiscent of The Walking Dead than The Wolf Among Us. You can't be banged around like a ragdoll in a bar fight anymore and get another shot. Nope, it's back to the one-hit deaths in most cases, so you better get shot, my friend, because these scenes are not gonna wait for you. Had to learn that one the hard way once or twice. Oh, yes. Anyway, before the whole band, including the Lord's sexy son Roderick, can be slain, he tells you to deliver an indescribably important message to your uncle, one that you cannot share with anyone else. And with that, he sends you on your way. Oh man, there are hardly words for how pumped up this theme song makes me. Hey, this one isn't 20 minutes long! Give it time, by chapter 6 it'll be half the playtime. Gared, don't you watch the show? Main roads are always a big no-no if you're trying to lie low. Luckily, despite the somewhat obtrusive camera angles, our holy grail, the faraway click-to-walk option is back! Gone are the days of doing that weird skate walk against walls trying to wrestle with the camera to examine a drop of blood on the floor. In an inescapable scene of primal vengeance, Gared exacts justice on some soldiers who've just finished murdering his entire family. Man, today is just not going well for him. But finally, he returns to Ironrath and gets to relay the tragedy of what he's been through. I mean, after getting maggots poured into his leg and being forced to traipse around on it for a bit looking at exposition pieces. The narrative of this game flows well. It's nice to see an emphasis on showing rather than telling in these games. Looking at certain objects will sometimes give you more information sheerly through the character's reaction than talking might have. It's similar to the show, really, where tensions and struggles can be displayed without words. There's just so much to learn from everything about the players here. However, it turns out that those guys you attacked were soldiers of the House Bolton!
The Fun Bunch!
And that justice will now be carried out on you. Therefore, the safest option is to send you to the wall to join the Night's Watch. Wow, what a day. But now it's time for something completely different for these games. That's right, a new character! I've been waiting for this. 400 days didn't scratch my itch quite enough, but now we have a whole series of pain to experience. Together! Our name is Ethan, the son of the late Lord Forrester and, with the death of literally half the male family in the battle, the new Lord. The focus of gameplay now shifts onto the importance of political decisions for the good of your house, which is no easy feat considering the scarcity of food, lack of allies, and this new bullshit with the Boltons. You can listen to your advisors, who aren't much help between all their bickering, honestly, or forge your own path and try to cope with the shitstorm headed your way. Luckily, you have Cat Stark 2.0 to help you out.
You bellow like a wounded boar, Lord Whitehill. Have you forgotten your manners? If that displeases you, then I trust you can find the door.
Oh damn, another new character? And now I'm a girl! Yes, our name is Mira. We are the eldest daughter of House Forrester, currently attending to the future queen in King's Landing, Marjorie. And I gotta say, she looks just as adorable here as she does in the show. That little cat smirk. She wants me for her ever-expanding lady harem, doesn't she? First Sansa, then Brienne, and now this? Oh, I don't know what to say, Marjorie. So Miss Westeros over here asks us to meet with Cersei and basically just bow down and grovel like a worm, which to be fair isn't difficult if you're in the presence of Queen Bitch Cersei herself. It seems that the Queen Regent doesn't appreciate all the hubbub with your house lately and wants to psychologically rough you up a little bit. Luckily, Tyrion is there to be his deliciously snarky self. And can I just say how satisfying it is to have Peter Dinklage make quips for your benefit in a battle of wills against Lena Headey? I swear, I've had dreams just like this. Oh, Cersei. That lace front? I can't stay mad at you. I also have to point out that the system of character change is definitely growing on me in a good way. In past games, in order to have an authentic playthrough with your character, you either had to play as Good Cop Big B or Big Bad Wolf Big B, or alternatively a bipolar character who was nice to some people and psychotically violent towards others. Lee could be a bit more subtle, but it was easy to have the protagonist shift from complex and dualistic to fucking unpredictable and dent-inducing for the narrative. Here, the flow is a lot more seamless. You have different characters adapting to different situations, all of which have different histories, personalities, and problems. I had my lawful good paragon Gared, my sassy but somewhat diffident Lord Ethan, and now my true neutral, almost terrifyingly unbiased Mira, who'll do anything for her family. Coming back to Gared, we get some very effective lighting and, at last, a glimpse of our current big baddie.
No!
Speaking of Ironrath, it's time to check back in on our little lord. Here we have to appoint a sovereign to advise us in political matters, and seeing as our situation is really bad, this is one of those choices that's gonna count big time. Your two options are Roylan, a battlemaster who seems capable but quick-tempered and a bit too confident, and Duncan, Gared's uncle who's wise and experienced but a bit quick to bend the knee to potential threats. I'm gonna leave it to you all to decide who you'd rather have on your side, but I will bring to light an issue that came to me while trying to make this decision for myself. Just as switching between good and bad at the drop of a hat can break the flow, having multiple characters operate from one nearly omniscient guide can do the same thing. For example, my first instinct was to go with Duncan, largely because our army is a lot smaller than the Boltons and a head-on assault would probably be a suicide mission. Thinking about it more deeply though, I also felt reassured in my decision when I remembered that Duncan was the only one entrusted with the late Lord's deepest secret. That proves that he's honorable and trustworthy and therefore makes him the candidate for me. But, lest we forget, only 3 people know about the secret at all. Duncan, the late Gregor Forrester, and of course Gared, who told Duncan about the North Grove in the first place. Gared, not Ethan. Doesn't it break the flow of the narrative to have characters act from prior experiences they didn't personally have? It throws the player off, like, why shouldn't I have trusted so-and-so, or why shouldn't I have been suspicious of this? I saw all the signs and subconsciously acted accordingly. And believe me, come the end of this game, it's like holding your breath for Juliet to wake up just in time. If you've played a Telltale game before, you know the sacred truth. No matter how careful you are, sometimes you're just fucked.
I don't know what I was expecting. It's the Eternal Darkness kind of character model.
And yet, despite all the bloodshed and turmoil and fat, salty tears, the next episode still calls to me.
Fun fact, before I remembered everyone's names in the show, I had to make up fake names for them because everybody's names sound fucking the same, right? Handsome Arms, Lace Front, Blonde Lace Front, Captain Friendzone, John, Other John, John,